Hello, welcome, willkommen, my sweet dear magical friends, to another live stream. Today we are going to be discussing using astrology spiritually from the perspective of me, Natalie, the occultist here, professional remote viewer. Oh, mother of pearl, hold on. I'm going double live. Okay. All right. So sorry, YouTube family. Welcome, willkommen, everyone, to today's discussion. We're going to be talking about using astrology spiritually, and this is really inspired by, yeah, we're on this camera because I'm live streaming on TikTok, but we've still got the, oh, good energy, everybody. Yay. Today's also the day that Pluto bends the nodes, squares the nodes exactly. So it's like Armageddon, Judgment Day, and I want to thank Peter Hoskins. I'm sorry, I always for a comment for yesterday's video. He said something to the effect of all of your videos feel like an immersive interactive experience. And thank you so much for that. I really appreciate feedback and like all of that stuff because it's inspired this live stream discussion today because it's so, and guys, the urge to just like share and teach everything I know has been getting like a lot stronger. So that's in part why I'm redesigning the club tiers or the clubs on Patreon. But what I want to bring your attention to today is the Mars and Virgo little differences of the energy work that we're doing. So for instance, when you watch TV, when you watch movies, when you're basically taking in anything from a screen, those vibrations, you're doing energy work, okay? It's a very subconscious, it goes right into the subconscious. So you're doing energy work whether you're doing it consciously or not. And what happens during our psychic tarot readings and when I'm remote viewing and channeling for you guys is you're also doing energy work in that subconscious realm. And all you have to do is feel. You're going to have shifts in consciousness throughout your psychic tarot reading, whether it's for the collective, maybe it's for someone else, and you're listening in on their lessons. And I call those Scooby snacks for the golden oldies that remember the Scooby snacks. Then that's something for that we don't relate to personally, but maybe we did in the past, and it still has benefit to do the energy work, maybe to help get over something that's no longer relevant materially right now, but maybe your energy got stuck in a chakra or something like that. So we pop it loose. And so that's the energy work for these psychic tarot readings and when I'm remote viewing and whatnot. When we do an immersive interactive experience like we did yesterday, that is like a little itty bitty baby step up in God, that's so funny. On TikTok, they can see my screenwriting stuff in the background. That's funny. So when we're doing like an interactive immersive experience, that's a little bit more. You're doing a little bit more. That's why I opened it saying, and TikTok family, I did host this immersive interactive experience yesterday on the YouTube. It's the same handle, Watch Natalie, if anyone's interested in breaking down the Venus retrograde. And so when we're doing something like that, and that is a new thing, first of all, let me back it up a little bit. So you are not traditionally, so I had that plan to do on last Friday, and whenever I have like an hour-long session, if that gets bungled just logistically, it does kind of like throw my day off. So it wasn't able to happen on Friday, and you want to do something like that before Venus stations retrograde. And we're going to talk about, this is a live example of using astrology spiritually. Forgot who said it was, maybe Einstein or somebody else, but that covers the nipple. So they said something to the effect of about survival. It's not the strongest that survive. It's not the most intelligent even that survive. It's those that are the best at adapting, who can adapt. So I wanted to do that Friday before the Venus officially stationed retrograde Saturday night, but I ended up doing it yesterday, which is after the Venus retrograde. So you can't get stuck and held into one thing, and this applies especially to astrology, especially when you don't have that element of spirituality and humility when you approach astrology, because you'll try to use it and you'll try to force it, you try to you'll try to outlife life. You'll try to manipulate, coerce, or control. You're using astrology to reaffirm an addiction to, I don't know, something. Pick your poison. We all pick our poison. So you just go with it. You go with it, you adapt. And so all that means is that I'll probably be hosting those on retrograde energies. I'm thinking I'll do it for Venus and Mars retrogrades exclusively. And it'll just be a little bit different. So the more that you're holding on to any very super specific ideas of how you want something to go or how you are going to use your energy, adapt, go with that flow. And I learned this experientially with psychokinesis and telekinesis, because surrendering that control, surrendering control, it's not how it sounds. Okay, so you do kind of like, it's more like you release it and you have to trust. And this is just like how I'm a natural remote viewer. Like I just don't try. Like it just sort of happens. Like I do a whole thing beforehand, and we're gonna do remote viewing sub club on Patreon. So everyone loves the remote viewing. So I'm so excited for that. That's gonna be, oh, I'm excited. So but likewise, any kind of like skills, talents, abilities that you guys naturally, organically have, think about it. You don't think about it. You don't try hard. You just get up on the skateboard and you're just going down. You're thinking about other things, or you do what you ride your bike, whatever you do it kind of like without thinking. It's a subconscious process. So I think it was last year, I don't remember, but it was when I got this really big, strong download to discuss astrology in terms of consciousness and subconsciousness. I think some of you may remember that. And this is like the key. This is the key to using astrology spiritually, is to be conscious of what that subconscious may be manifesting in your life without being like in your conscious awareness. If we really took a look at what our subconscious was manifesting in our lives, we'd be like horrified, because it's not at all as like what we consciously want. Look at anything in your life that's like not so great right now, or not that you're unhappy with, whatever. We still manifested that. It's the 95% subconscious mind that brought that into existence. Oh my God. Okay. So the other night I had this dream about this big, thick centipede. And then the next day I did a whole deep dive into dream meaning and symbolism and kind of cross-reference some things. And then, lo and behold, I actually physically manifested a centipede into my experiences in my bathtub after not seeing anything for like any bugs or anything in my place for like over a year, I would say. Or yeah, a really long time. I really want to bring him because I caught him and I just knew, because I had this dream, that I could not kill him. I couldn't do that. So anyway, the subconscious is extremely, extremely powerful and constantly manifesting. So reality, as we're experiencing it, is constantly giving us feedback. And this is what I talk to my Hierophants about, constantly getting feedback of the state of your consciousness and what you are manifesting. So if you're ever wondering how are my manifestations go, you just look at your life, pay attention to what's going on, and you can make a judgment on that if you're happy or unhappy with that, so on and so forth. So when you identify something that's like a problem area or something that you don't want, or that you're consciously working against, so this would be like you're working 4 jobs and you're still living paycheck to paycheck, and like, God, I'm working so hard, where's my abundance, where's my all of this and that. You're consciously trying to make all this money, you're trying to build up this savings, whatever it is, but maybe 95% of your subconscious mind, maybe you took a vow of poverty in a past lifetime for your whole soul. Maybe you had a household growing up experience that was very detrimental in the attitude towards money. Maybe your father wasn't ambitious, and so he really downplayed money and said like, oh, anyone that has money, they're superficial, they're materialistic, and they're bad people. Anyone that has a lot of money is bad people, whatever, right? So that's the kind of stuff that astrology can just be the most like precise, wonderful tool. It's an instrumental tool for you to just like a little dentist pick into that subconscious awareness, that subconscious content. Okay, so when we're talking about these these transits and when we're in a presentation, we're discussing, it's a very mental energy. It's very yellow auric energy. Astrologers and talking about astrology, it's like you're totally using like all the mental energy bodies. So when you're doing that, that's going into your like the 5% of your conscious understanding and awareness. There could be a disconnect of letting it really seep into the subconscious mind, really letting it like get in your bones, so to speak, like really like touch you and absorb, you know, the lesson. We understand and we love thinking about astrology on an intellectual level. It's a really intellectual thing. It can be so mathematical and so heady, you know. So what we're doing here with these interactive immersive experiences is bridging this consciousness, conscious awareness with the subconscious, like unawareness. And we're breaking down the cognitive dissonance essentially. So that's why when I'm hosting an immersive interactive experience, that it's a little bit more energy work than taking in a psychic tarot reading, because when you're taking in a psychic tarot reading, you just feel what you feel, and you let those movements, those changes happen from the feeling, because everything's about the quality of that feeling. Everything's about that. And it doesn't matter where you're getting it or how you're guided to get it. Maybe it's Dispenza, where you're talking about brain-heart coherence and the electromagnetic field. Maybe it's Abraham Hicks and you are big on the affirmations. Maybe it's Bashar and you are really connected to your intergalactic family. And you know what I'm saying? So it's like it doesn't, or you have your favorite astrologer, psychic tarot reader on YouTube and they're channeling messages. So don't judge like where it's coming from. When you hit on something, when something resonates, when you're guided towards something, connect with that feeling. Connect with that feeling, follow up on it, follow up on your passion and your curiosity, because that's going to be, that like is your spiritual path. And when you go against your intuition is when we get into trouble. That intuition is the subconscious tool that communicates a lot of information in a very short amount of time. We don't have enough time to explain to our consciousness every single step of the way. The intuition, the intuitive feeling is like going from A to Z without stopping at any letter in between. Okay, so astrology is like breaking it down. This is A, this is B, this is C, this is D, and you can understand it linearly and you can understand it conceptually, like in a step tiered process. But it's the hosting the interactive immersive experience that allows you to do both, like understand it and feel through it in real time. That's why there's going to be phase 2 of this Venus retrograde experience, because it's a 4-month-long process. And then, yeah, I'll either probably do more immersive experiences, maybe it's like a retrograde thing now, you know, so we'll see what happens with it. But generally, just as a quick tip, I know we have a lot of like independent business owners here. You never want to introduce like a new product on a Venus retrograde, and you don't want to yeah, anything like new, it's just not, it's a better time for like incubation. So another thing would be maybe this transforms into something else entirely. Maybe it goes into a whole other stratosphere of a thing. Maybe this is just the kernel of something that's going to develop, you know, later on. But the point is to be adaptable, and to use the astrology for making that harmony and that bridge between the subconscious and the conscious mind, the conscious awareness. So it's not like you can only do that through this, well, you know, immersive, interactive experience. You can do that through as you're guided. Like I said, to maybe it's, you know, someone you're watching, maybe it's a book that you're guided towards in a bookstore, used bookstore, or something like that. And that's basically just what I wanted to come on here real quick and just put that out there for you guys, is that really specific, like Mars and Virgo type of a thing that we are pinpointing very specifically. That subconscious, that 95% of your mind is doing like all of the manifesting in your life, and that if you don't ever get to it, your life won't change. You have to change before your life changes externally. So reality is constantly giving you the results of your state of being, essentially. Okay, so we're going to be live streaming on Patreon today, the monthlies. We're doing Aries, Taurus, Gemini today, the last week of the month. Anyone that books a personal reading with me, I never really schedule you guys for the last week of the month. It's always when I'm doing monthly. So we have 3 lunations in the month of August, and I'm really excited to talk to everyone about it. And you're going to get your guides. It's going to be epic. So my lovelies, I hope that this has helped clarify some things and inspire and motivate you guys to basically face these fears, because the subconscious is scary. Okay, like that's why the unconscious is why it's the unconscious. It's because it's scary. So hopefully this helps reduce some of the fear and opens up some minds that are maybe super heady into the astrology to embrace some of the more spiritual benefits that you can glean from it, instead of keeping it in the 5%, keeping it super heady. All right, my dearies. I love you. Take very good care, and I will see you guys